There is an engineering marvel in automobile history that is impossible to happen even once in 100 years. Mercedes-Benz W123. Imagine a vehicle that manages to survive and preserve its first-day lines on the worst and bumpiest roads of Africa, even 50 years after the date it was produced. That is today. It would be a mistake to call this a vehicle. It is a legend, an engineering legend, the last memory of the era when engineers demonstrated true engineering. Welcome to our vintage Benz family. Today I will talk about such a vehicle that it is alive even after 40-50 years as a timeless, immortal, and very safe automobile. At the end of the video, you will learn what paths this legend, which will never ever be produced again in automotive history, and which displays a performance that even the engineers who designed it could not imagine, has crossed. You will also see interesting information about the engines that can even run on vegetable oil and are the heart of the W123. The Mercedes-Benz W123 is an engineering manifesto shaped by the philosophy of let it be produced once and work forever, where planned obsolescence was not yet displayed, which is impossible for humanity to reach again. Now let's explain the secrets behind why this legend is so durable. In the mid-70s, the whole world faced an oil crisis, and automobile manufacturers were striving for the production of economy vehicles. In the midst of this chaos, that is, when the date showed 1975, Mercedes came up with a model that would bury the W114 and W115 legends in history, the Mercedes-Benz W123. This model, which was seen as an ordinary Mercedes at first glance, was going to rewrite automotive history. The largest R&D budget for a model in its history was allocated for the W123, and this meant more than just an ordinary car. With the leadership of the legendary designer Bruno Sacco, the whole team sets out for the same goal: to design the safest and most timeless car ever in the world. The engineers set out without thinking about the cost, and this period was one of the last periods when pure engineering shone brightly before our eyes. From the moment the W123 started to be produced in the factory, people had put their names on the list to buy it, and there were even those who had to wait 2 years, and they had taken this time into consideration for this car. We are talking about a legend whose second-hand prices even competed with brand new prices at that time. Behind the philosophy of the W123 being so durable, there was a concept that engineers today ignore: extreme engineering, that is, over-engineering. This type of engineering meant that a part had to be much more robust than the weight it could carry. A crankshaft or a suspension tie rod, which is found in normal vehicles and is impossible to be functional for more than 250,000 kilometers, resembled a locomotive part in this legend. And even if the vehicle traveled 1,000,000 kilometers, that suspension was forged with metal alloys that could withstand the stress. Very high quality steel, sheet metal thickness, and the welding technology used at the points where the body merged almost challenged military standards. The door closing sound of the W123, that is, that famous solid sound, silently explained how high quality the metal used in the vehicle was. During the production of the vehicle, the engineers developed multi-layer priming techniques because they were more resistant to rusting, and thus, even today, there are examples of this vehicle driving on the roads without even a millimeter of rust. The part that contributes the most to a vehicle working for a long time is its heart, namely its engine. What kept the W123 W123 series alive were the OM616 and 5-cylinder OM617 diesel engines, which held the peaks in the automobile community in terms of reliability. These Immortal hearts were designed very simply, unlike the engines with complex systems on the market today. Consisting of pure mechanics, naturally aspirated and cast iron blocks, these units were produced to work in all eras. What astounds people is that these engines continued to work even when you poured vegetable waste oil in an emergency. And the most crucial point was that there was no loss of performance. Perhaps a Mercedes 240D producing 72 horsepower could not break records on the racetrack, but it continues to break records even today in the heat of the Sahara Desert. If these surprised you, let's continue to witness unbelievable facts. There is a fact about this car that many people, maybe you too, have heard of. The taxi driver Gregorios Sakyanidis from Greece and his Mercedes 240D, which he bought second-hand in 1981. Gregorios, who was a taxi driver, managed to pass exactly 4,600,000 kilometers with the 240D. This is a long time. Maybe a record that will never be renewed. When Mercedes-Benz heard about this incident in 2004, they contacted Gregorios Sakyanidis and asked him to gift this vehicle to the Mercedes Museum, and in return they gifted him a brand new 0-kilometer C200C Di. A vehicle designed with proper engineering, works forever and has no expiration date. The W123 is famous for being durable, but most people do not know how it protects human life. The impact-absorbing Crumple zones philosophy developed by Béla Barényi, one of the greatest engineers, experienced its absolute peak in the W123 series. So much so that at the time of a crash, the front and rear parts would fold and absorb the incoming impact, turning into a steel cage. In other words, no one was damaged during a collision. This vehicle took the lead in crash tests along with some of its details. In the 1980s, the ABS brake system, which is today's standard, started to breathe for the first time in the W123 series. Mercedes engineers put forth all their genius so that the people inside, beyond the mechanical parts, could walk away from extreme accidents. From the moment you got into the vehicle, the combination of timeless design and a simple atmosphere almost drew you in. The Mercedes-Benz W123 was designed from such materials that even if you used the vehicle constantly exposed to the sun for a long time, it was impossible for you to see any wear or deterioration. In particular, synthetic leather upholstery named MB-Tex was used in this vehicle, and this synthetic leather is known to be more durable than human skin, meaning even in high heat, it neither cracks nor bursts, nor does its color change. When you open the door of a W123 that is past 45 years of age, you might think the seats belong to a brand new car, but everything stands as solid as the first day. The wood veneers on the dashboard were made of real wood, not plastic. All the buttons on the console worked with such a high mechanical feel that the moment you touched them, you felt what German engineering was. From the ventilation grills to the font on the speedometer, all details were perfectly designed down to the finest detail. When you set out on a journey with this legend, which is also top level in driving comfort, you instantly understand with what dignity the vehicle sits on the road at that moment. The double wishbone independent suspension at the front and the semi-independent hydraulically supported system at the rear isolated all the irregularities felt while driving on the roads in that era. The W123 does not give aggressive reactions in corners. It destroys all the potholes and roughness on the road, gliding almost like a ship. This gliding sensation minimizes the stress on the undercarriage, preventing the parts from breaking down quickly. The steering system is not numb. The hydraulically supported solid steering offers legendary straight-line stability at high speeds. The confidence felt while driving at a speed of 160 kilometers on the autobahns of Germany carries the same feeling as the comfort on stabilized roads. Beyond being a technical success, the W123 is a massive cultural icon on a global scale. This automobile is one of the rare automobiles that manage to eliminate social class discrimination and keep everyone on the same level. So much so that someone was working as a taxi driver with a W123. It was the official vehicle of a bank manager, and at the same time, it was present in the garage of a Hollywood star. How many vehicles have existed that were seen as both a symbol of wealth and a symbol of labor and rationality? Thus, this legend, which managed to keep everyone under one roof, went down in history as one of the last true engineering monuments of that era. That unique engine sound of the W123 is nothing but beautiful music for an automobile lover. When we see the point the automobile industry and engineering have reached today, we accept that the W123 has a structure and design that will never be repeated again. Today's cars are produced with a planned obsolescence strategy, and they are all victims. Today, nobody makes a car that will last forever, because as long as the vehicle doesn't break down, you cannot sell spare parts, and nobody can make money. In the end, the factory goes towards bankruptcy. Microchips and software in modern automobiles are calibrated to start malfunctioning the moment the warranty period ends. Compared to the new generation automobiles that lock the vehicle when a single sensor fails, the W123 offers absolute freedom. In the mechanical world where there is no electronic chaos, the fate of the car depends not on software but on the maintenance you will show it. The W123 is the strongest mechanical rebellion rising against consumption frenzy. Mercedes-Benz designed the W123 series to adapt to different lifestyles rather than as a classic sedan, and transformed it into a massive product family. The luxury station wagon concept in the automobile community started to be produced for the first time in this generation under the name S123. Thanks to the hydro-pneumatic level control system in its rear suspension, even if you filled the trunk of the car to the maximum level, the height of the body did not change, and driving safety did not deviate. The Coupe version, the C123, produced for those looking for a sporty stance, was one of the aesthetic masterpieces of its era, with its pillarless side window designs. The limousine versions, with an extended wheelbase, were specially designed for the elite class. No matter which body type you chose, there was only one thing that did not change: maximum durability and user safety. The ability of a vehicle to travel smoothly on the roads for tens of years is also related to its sustainable repairability. The W123 might be the simplest and easiest automobile to repair ever. When you opened the hood, you didn't see any confusion. Everything was in its place in a simple way. There were no wide gaps and piles of cables around the engine block. This made repairing the vehicle very simple. More importantly, the Mercedes-Benz Classic department actively continues the production of original spare parts even today. This means if you have a W123 that is past 45 years old, you can order a brand new original part fresh from the authorized service center for that vehicle. This understanding of sustainability makes it not just a classic belonging to the past, but a living legend that can be used even today. Owning a W123 is a nostalgic time travel you will experience with all your senses. These vehicles have their own unique interior smell, born from the mixture of horsehair, coconut fiber, and special fabrics. This scent instantly takes you to the memories of unforgettable long journeys. The turning of those analog dials on the speedometer, that reassuring patter the engine makes while idling, the wide-angle working rhythm of the wipers create a driving feeling that the soulless screens of the modern world cannot offer. When you open the door of the vehicle and sit behind the steering wheel, you do not want to rush to your destination. You want to be a part of that mechanical symphony and keep up with the rhythm of the engineering marvel. The modern world constantly pumps the idea that new electric cars will save the environment. However, when we look at the other side of the coin, the W123 shows us very clearly what true environmentalism is. The amount of carbon emitted during the production of a vehicle is of massive proportions. Unlike electric automobiles that are scrapped every 5 years, the W123, which provides uninterrupted service for tens of years and is returned to the roads by being repaired, is one of the transportation solutions that puts the least burden on nature. Having consumed resources once and surviving for years with minimum spare part consumption, the machine exhibits the most environmentalist stance against the pollution of consumption frenzy. True sustainability is not producing a new model every year, but being able to build heirloom works that can be passed down for generations like this vehicle. The Mercedes-Benz W123 file does not only tell the engineering successes of the past, but it strikingly hits us in the face with what we have lost in today's world. As long as the witness of those times when quality, durability, and the value given to human life were not measured by money is on the roads, our belief in the immortality of mechanical genius will not be lost. Do you have any memories with the Mercedes-Benz W123? If you do, I am waiting for them in the comments. Share those memories with us. I invite you to our Vintage Benz family, which continues to grow every day, and you can join us by subscribing for free. Do not forget to turn on the notifications to be informed about the videos I have specially prepared for you. See you in the next video.